This evening, President Ali calls for adherence to international law amidst Venezuela's threat at UN session. Opposition leader calls for Chairman of Region 4 resignation amid assault allegations. Ministry of Education takes swift action against school violence at New Campbellville Secondary School. In the region, Venezuela sends 11,000 troops to control gang-run prison with pool and zoo. And internationally, Poland-Ukraine grain import row, WARSAW to stop providing weapons to Kyiv. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 22nd, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has stressed the importance of adhering to international law and using diplomatic means to resolve disputes while addressing the United Nations. The Guyanese president was at the time speaking at the 78th session at the United Nations, New York, USA. The head of state highlighted and expressed concerns over Venezuela's continued threat to Guyana's sovereignty, particularly its rejection of Guyana's oil block auctions. President Ali firmly condemned these attempts to undermine Guyana's territorial integrity and calls on Venezuela to settle disputes peacefully, including through the International Court of Justice. He asserted Guyana's right to develop its territories and expressed confidence in the court's decision favoring Guyana. The Secretary General of the Organizations of American States and the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs also called for respect for international law and Guyana's sovereignty in response to Venezuela's action. The International Court of Justice recently rejected Venezuela's preliminary objection, allowing the case to proceed. The ruling means that the court will proceed to decide the controversy between the two states on the merits and ultimately issue a final and binding determination on the validity of the 1899 arbitral award that fixed the land boundary between Venezuela and then British Guyana. Also making the headlines, the Ministry of Education has taken action in response to recent incidents of school violence at the New Campbellville Secondary School. This comes on the heels of two separate cases involving physical altercations among students at that institution. On September 9th, a video circulated on social media showed a female student being hit about her body by her classmate. Similarly, on September 15th, a fight involving two male students was reported to the Ministry of Education. In the video, which circulated on social media, one of the students was kicked and stomped in his head by another male student. Following investigations, the ministry engaged the parents of all the students involved. Following the meeting, students who were found to be in breach of the Ministry of Education's policy on the maintenance of order and discipline in the school were sanctioned in keeping with the said policy document, which includes expulsion, suspension, and mandatory psychosocial counseling. The Ministry of Education noted that it will not condone violence in the schools. The ministry remains committed to ensuring students have a safe and conducive learning environment. Additionally, the ministry will continue its sanitization campaigns in schools on issues relating to bullying and any other indisciplined behaviors. In other news, Aubrey Norton, leader of the People's National Congress Reform and opposition leader, has called for the resignation of Region 4 Chairman Daniel Suram following recent allegations of assault against his wife. Norton emphasized the opposition's stance against violence, particularly domestic violence, and urged Siram to do the decent thing and step down from his post. He mentioned that if Siram refuses to resign, the party will discuss and determine the next steps regarding his status. Norton noted that while they believe Siram should step down, formal requests have yet to be made for him to vacate the office. The leader also mentioned the differences in removing regional officials compared to parliamentary members, emphasizing the need for mechanisms to address such situations within the regional system. Siram has previously faced charges for allegedly threatening his father-in-law with a gun in early 2022. Stick around when we return. Police seek black Toyota fuel wagon in fatal hit-and-run on College and Public Road, and Ministry of Education withdraws previously announced holiday for Georgetown schools.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Next Start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 East Half Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 649-0373.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
All we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poised cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you want to know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and duck plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The police are looking for a black Toyota field wagon, registration number, driver and owner unknown, following a fatal hit-and-run accident on the College and Public Road around 4:30 this morning. The accident involved motor lorry GAC 1443, driven by the now deceased 25-year-old Adzel Innis of Burma Housing Scheme, Maikoni, East Coast, Demerara, and the black Toyota field wagon. Inquiries disclosed that Innis was proceeding east along the College and Public Road when he stopped on the parapet in the vicinity of Chico Rama's gas station and stepped out of his vehicle onto the roadway and into the path of the black field wagon, which was also proceeding east along the northern drive lane and collided with Innis. Due to the collision, Innis fell to the road, receiving injuries to his body. The car drove away in the eastern direction. Innis was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital and pronounced dead on arrival. The body is at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home awaiting a post-mortem examination. Inquiries are still in progress as the search continues for the black field wagon. On a different note, the Ministry of Education has withdrawn its previously announced holiday for all schools in Georgetown. In a memorandum dated today, Friday, September 22, 2023, the Ministry of Education advised all head teachers in the Education District of Georgetown that the manager's holiday previously declared for all schools, inclusive of nursery, primary, secondary, and PICs for both sessions on Monday, September 25, 2023, is hereby withdrawn. Therefore, all schools in the Education District in Georgetown will be in session on Monday, September 25th. The memo further stated that the Ministry of Education wishes to apologize for this error. However, while no explanation was given for the withdrawal, it is worth knowing that the Cricket Carnival Parade, which is expected to cause traffic congestion in the capital city is slated for Monday. Don't go away after the break. Authorities try to stem flow of refugees and migrants on US-Mexico border and hold in Ukraine grain import route Warsaw to stop providing weapons to Kyiv.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Venezuela says it has seized control of a prison from the hands of a powerful gang with an international reach in a major operation involving 11,000 members of its security forces, Al Jazeera's Charles Stratford reports.
Tocaron Prison has often been described as a hotel for a powerful criminal gang. It has a disco, a swimming pool, and even a zoo. Authorities say the notorious Tren de Aragua, which is believed to have around 5,000 members, operating in at least 8 Latin American countries, has trafficked drugs and planned extortion rackets and kidnappings from inside the jail. And the situation's so bad that 11,000 heavily armed troops from the National Guard raided the prison. Many of the inmates' wives gathered at the jail gates.
Muchos miedos porque les están violando sus derechos.
We are very afraid because their rights are being violated. There are visitors, children, and pregnant women inside.
The policemen, those guards that had passed by going there towards the prison, they told us just now that they were going to kill all of them inside.
Reports in the local media tell of soldiers stealing inmates' belongings and robbing those who gathered to show support for the men.
My husband told me the authorities were going to take the prison, so I should get my things ready. So I brought everything, including money, but the police robbed me. All I want to know is if he's alive or dead.
Weapons were confiscated and 6,000 inmates will now be transferred to other prisons. Venezuela's interior minister told local TV the operation had been a success.
They were subjected to the law. They have their rights guaranteed. We respected their rights. This has been an operation where we've guaranteed the life and tranquility of the people who live around the prison. We've managed to guarantee the safety of the prisoners, and now they're going to another prison.
Human rights groups say Venezuelan jails are 50% overcrowded on average and lack adequate facilities for inmates. They also suffer from institutionalised corruption from within the prison service. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
Immigration authorities in Mexico are grappling with a surge in refugee and migrants from Latin America trying to make their way north to the U.S. border. Mexican officials have applied a range of tactics, including shutting down some roadways. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo has more.
A seemingly endless queue of migrants crossing the Rio Grande from Mexico into the United States. They're part of a recent surge in migrant crossings in places like the Eagle Pass Gateway, one of the busiest border crossings between the two countries. Many of them say they're fleeing worsening political and economic conditions in their home countries.
The situation in my country is suffocating.
In Mexico, the recent wave of migrants appears overwhelming. Earlier this week, Mexico's national railway service, Ferromex, announced a temporary suspension of operations after several deaths and injuries were reported, involving migrants falling from train cars. Freight trains are one of the most popular methods used by migrants as they make their way to the United States. Collectively, these rail cars are known as La Bestia, or the Beast.
We've been walking for 9 to 10 days. Walking is awful because in my group, which came here walking, we got our feet injured. And with such a long way to go until we reach the border, I don't think we can even make it by walking.
The crisis appears just as dire along Mexico's southern border with Guatemala. On Monday, a group of migrants, most of them from countries like Haiti, Cuba, Honduras, and Venezuela, forced their way into a refugee station.
We are absolutely uninformed. They don't display any sign, anything that informs the people. I think they should find a solution to this.
Facing a sharp influx of migrants from Latin America and the Caribbean, immigration policy experts in Mexico are calling on the government to establish more processing centers for migrants to prevent the current crisis from worsening. Manuel Rapallo, Al Jazeera.
And internationally, Poland says it will stop supplying additional weapons to Ukraine. They are long-term allies but have been locked in a dispute over grain imports. Poland had banned grain from Ukraine to protect the interests of its own farmers. It then said it would not supply more weapons to Kiev as the row escalated. President Vladimir Zelensky angered its neighbor at the UN by calling out Poland over the grain ban import, a move Poland says is to protect the interests of its farmers. Al Jazeera's Jonah Hall reports.
The televised announcement by Poland's Prime Minister hardly seemed to ring true.
We are no longer transferring weapons to Ukraine because we are now arming ourselves with the most modern weapons.
The sixth largest donor of military aid to Ukraine, Poland has handed over tons of heavy weaponry, including hundreds of tanks. And now, implied the Prime Minister, it has nothing left to give. Two things lie behind the latest announcement. First, an escalating dispute over grain, With Russia targeting Ukraine's seaborne agricultural exports, Ukraine has been forced to find other routes via the European Union. Farmers in Eastern Europe have protested against those cheap imports, leading some countries, including Poland, to introduce bans. The second, fueling the political rhetoric, is Poland's general election next month. The right-wing ruling Law and Justice Party counts farmers among its core constituencies. Kyiv has responded by threatening legal action against Poland. And President Volodymyr Zelensky, attending the UN General Assembly in New York, insinuated on Tuesday that Poland is playing into Russia's hands.
And it is alarming to see how some in Europe, some our friends in Europe, play out solidarity in political theater, making thriller from the grain.
And with that, the fracturing of a relationship that has been among the most steadfast since the war in Ukraine began.
Yes, we have elections in Poland, so of course coming. So of course the government, the governing party is obviously taking, perhaps using rather harsh rhetoric. But the truth is, it's incomprehensible why now it's reached the level of the president, Ukrainian president. Why is he berating Poland as if it was a unfriendly country? He walked out before the speech of the Polish president and did not want to actually organize a meeting. That is something which, I'm sure will settle this. And those people in the Kremlin who are kind of opening champagne, we will prove them wrong. But nevertheless, this is not helping.
Analysts seem confident the rift can be healed, but not without damage done to the image of an unshakable alliance backing Ukraine, to the likely delight of Moscow. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. That's SIP TV2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be out for the weekend, but you can tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other and do have a wonderful weekend.